Hey, colors out there. This is Nathan, and welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Coloring Tips and Tricks. This is episode 20, and once again, we're looking at water effects. So, on the left hand side, we got another Fathom piece by Adriano Batista, and I'll put his DeviantArt account in the description as usual, and a Namor piece by Joe Sinnott. And so I think for the Joe Sinnott Namor piece, we're gonna do like underwater coloring, and for the Fathom piece, I just wanted to show more of like water effects. Had to get some really nice highlights, specular highlights on the water, and so I think we'll go ahead and start off on that one. I think that one's probably gonna take a little bit longer to get through. Part one was a little bit longer than I had wanted it to be, but I think it came out pretty well. We covered like some nice stuff, so it doesn't bug me too much. Let's see. First off, let me get her water, and I'll put that on a separate layer and lock it down. And not really sure what type of day to go for. Maybe we'll just go for. Oops, wrong button there. Maybe more of like a magic hour, pink tones. Let me get my gradient tool going, the linear gradient. So we'll keep it, something like that. I think will look nice. Maybe a little bit more violet in the sky. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, a little bit at the very top. I think that'll look nice. Let's see. I don't think, because the last video we covered like foam and stuff like that, and I think we'll just keep this all as a liquid for this one. I think first off is establishing the color. So we'll pick up this back up here in the sky. We'll pick up that color, and we'll use that, I guess, as our darker tone. So I think that'll look nice when we bring in like some of the pinks and stuff like that in here. You can just get like a soft brush. My soft brush, I just have it here. I can easily pick it out, but it's the same one that comes in your brush presets. When you first open up Photoshop, it's going to be like this 300 soft brush right here, or one of these. I can't remember exactly which one it is. No special settings on it. Just your regular old run-of-the-mill Photoshop soft brush. I'm going to take some of this pink, and then this part's where we think it's going to be a little bit more transparent. We'll just go ahead and put a little bit of pink in there. Down here, I think. On these edges, the water isn't going to be as thick. Go back in a little bit. A little bit of pink in here as well. And this is going to be a really quick process. And just going to show you, you don't have to put, tons of work into doing effects. If you know what you're looking for and how to achieve that, use the right tools. As I say, work smarter, not harder. I think it definitely applies to working in this style. So let me go ahead and grab what I call my hybrid brush. Those guys that have been watching me for a while, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's you see my brush tip shape. It's the hardness is right around 41%, so it's pretty much in the middle of being a hard or soft edge brush and a hard edge brush. So 41%. Keep the spacing about 11%, and it gives me something. I could let me go back to this one here. It's right there in the middle. I could draw with it easily enough, but it still has a softer edge to it. And I really like using this brush a lot. Do a lot of fun things with it. Now just pick a let's see, maybe a lighter pink. We'll try that out and see how that works. Might have to make some adjustments to the colors later on. Tell you what, I'm going to do it on a new layer, just in case. And we'll clip that down to the layer beneath it, so we can go outside the lines and not have to worry about it, having a selection or anything like that. And we can keep the brush shape dynamics on, so I get a little bit of a point, because I'm going to just do most of this rendering here. I'm just going to be drawing it out. I'm just kind of really like sketching all this stuff in. You want to keep it loose, not really too worried about the detail at this moment. And we're just looking for some nice contrast going in. Again, this is all in a separate layer, so we can mess around with it later, the different colors. And really watch like the direction, the flow of the water. It's going to help sell the movement. So it's going to come up here. So I'm just kind of like dropping these highlight areas. I'm going to come back in a little bit to kind of clean that up some more. So I don't want to have my that shape dynamics on for everything. It works great for working these long lines, but when I'm going to go blend stuff in, I just find for me it's a little bit harder to do that with that still on. So it's like I'll just go in and take it off and come back in and blend it a little bit smoother. But I just still want like some kind of indication for me where these highlights are going to hit. So again, watch the direction lines when we're getting here into the swirl. So you really want to sell that movement in it. Again, just kind of just really quick, loose, sketching it in, my highlights and whatnot. Doesn't have to be very precise right now. So I think that looks pretty good for this one. Don't forget, I'm going to go in and kind of blend that in a little bit better. But yeah, I just want to keep on working quickly. I think that's the thing is like you don't want to spend too much time on it, worrying about it. Water, it's a very fluid thing, and water is not going to sit there and think like, oh, how am I going to look right here? Water's just going to do it. So that's how we're going to color it. Keep it nice and fluid. And again, just kind of emphasize the movement where you can. It's really good, like a lot of these big open areas you'll see. So this kind of coming in like that. And also got to kind of keep in mind where our light source is coming from. It's probably behind her. You know, so this part here of the wave or the water effect is going to have, you know, a little bit more highlight on this top side, and then not as much probably down here. You know, just kind of keep it to this part, you know, up here. And I think that'll help sell it, you know, give it some depth and whatnot. You know, just have like a couple lines in here. We'll probably come in like a cooler tone. You know, on this side it'll help kind of frame the piece as well. Again, just kind of moving in some motion lines a little bit. Finish up this bottom piece, bottom part, I should say. Let me go, oops, to my brush tool. I'll turn off that shape dynamics. Let me go back up here. Right now I have it at 30%. Let me drop it down to 10%. You know, just want to lightly blend it in. I don't want to, you know, have it be too harsh. Again, I don't want it to be blended in perfectly or anything like that. You'll see why in a second, because this is where it's really going to pop out in the next step. So all this stuff I'm doing right here is just all prep work for the next big step. So, you know, we're kind of zooming out on it. It looks pretty good. So far, I'm pretty happy with it. I can just go ahead and bring in some of this blue over here. Get back in some of that depth that we were talking about. That's really lightly. Okay. That looks good. Now what we're going to do, I do like those colors, how they're looking already, so I'll just merge that down. So we have our effects right here. And we'll duplicate that, hitting Command or Alt-J, depending on if you're a Mac or a PC. So it gives us a new layer. And we'll go ahead, go up to our image adjustments. We're looking for our hue saturation or shortcut. If you're on a Mac, Command U. If you're on a PC, it'll be Alt U or Control U. I'm sorry. And we're gonna just turn down the saturation on that all the way down, and we're gonna run levels on it as well. And what we want is like those white highlights to really kind of pop out. And then for, you know, we want a lot of contrast on this. All right, so that's what we're looking at right there. And now let's go to our filters. And let me see if I can remember where it's at. Artistic. Let's see. Oh, plastic wrap. And this is what we got. Let me see if I can resize this. Dragging it over from my other monitor, so. Let's do my filters and stuff like that on the other monitor. It makes it a lot easier for me. So I think these settings look pretty good. So you want like some really nice highlights on it and stuff to really make it pop. So you can see how that's looking. And now we'll take that, we'll switch it to, let's see, what's gonna work better. Go to screen, It's a bit much. I am kind of really liking the look of the effect. Color dodge, it's pretty bright. Maybe overlay. The overlay brings in the shadows as well. So let me see what we could do. If we drop down the opacity on it, I think it's at 20% right there, and see at 30% or 40%. I'm digging. So you still get the look of the effect. Let's try a little bit more. You have to remember, I've never colored this piece, and each time you do this effect, it's going to be different. So it's really trial and error, you know, seeing what works for the piece. Trying out different things, which is great for the having the layers and stuff. I'm liking the way that's looking. I think it's a bit dark than what we had. So let's go in and maybe we can lighten that up a little bit. But I don't want to lose too much of those white highlights. So I could brighten that up as well. I think that looks good, and see how this is. That's pretty close to our original colors there. It's not too bad. Let's go and we'll do another layer on top. We'll do it as a clipping mask. We'll set this one to color. Let's get in some of those original colors back in. So I get this pink going. Let's kind of bring it in again to our thinner layer water parts. So that's working pretty nicely. Bringing that color back in there. Maybe bring in some of this blue over here. And I think it's also going to help sell this effect. Let's see. We'll go ahead and just lighten this up around her hands a bit. And then let's get our hands. I guess we can use that same kind of pinkish color, kind of to show that it's emanating from her hands. We'll just lighten those up a bit. I'll just do that quickly. I'll just go ahead and throw some dodge on there. Or just take them to the white, I guess. They look pretty decent. And then let's see, for these, I want that light source coming from underneath. Let's make a quick selection on them. Oops. Let's brighten up that center part here. It's looking a little dull. That looks all right. And then our final step would be clipping mask on the line art. Let's go ahead and colorize the line art on here. I get to my pencil tool and I'll just color this in. Oops. It's a little tricky over here in some of these areas. Of course, it'd be a lot easier too if you're working from the inks. I just had the pencils to go off of, so it's going to look a little sketchier. Again, if this is a commission piece or some kind of paid gig, spend a lot more time, making it look nicer. But it's just for demo purposes. So just kind of going over this real quick for you guys. And we'll color the line art on her hand as well. And we'll put a glow on this in a second as well, to really show the glow coming out from her hand. Just kind of give the powers a little bit more context where it's coming from. And there's one down. That was a bit faster, wasn't it? So you can see how that plastic wrap it added, not only adding the highlights, but kind of like a nice little reflection on there as well. So that's why I really like using that plastic wrap filter. And I really don't use it for anything else, but it works really well for liquids. So yeah, I recommend giving it a shot, playing around with it a bit. Again, each piece is going to be different, so you're never going to, you always want to play around with your settings and whatnot. So I'm liking that color right there. Gives us enough standout and everything, contrast up here with the sky as well. But what we're going to do is we'll have another layer on top. This could go either way. I think we'll try it on lighten first and give it a shot. And I want kind of like this hot pink, I guess, will look pretty good. Going back to our soft brush. Again, just set at 30% on the flow. Just kind of want to show that, that energy coming from there. And, maybe have like, little spots here and there. You see like a little bit more of this pink. As it'll be reflecting off of there, of course. And maybe a little bit of white, more in the middle. And maybe not too much white. Don't want to get too bright with it. So I got this. And of course, like all the rest of the lighting, I would base on her powers and also with the water in the background. But I think that's gonna do it for this one here. Let me save that. it's just another quick way of getting through it. You saw me just like sketching it real quick. Taking it from just a couple really quick stray lines. Not having to worry about like, oh, let me get my lasso tool and draw this out here, and like, oh, I don't like it. Let me try it again. Oh, I don't like that either. Let me try it again. It's like I just go through it, quickly, and you'll get the movement of it, and and then applying our plastic wrap and see what that ended up looking like. So here we are at 100% on normal. Kind of has like that beveled edge to it. Put that back. So we ended up putting that on 50% overlay, and I think that worked pretty well. Next layer was our color layer, adding some more of those purples and blues back into it a little bit more. Our line art, we colorized it, and added the glows on there as well. And that's going to do it for this piece. Let's see. I was going to do, for this episode, I was also going to do a waterfall. But I think with this, with the plastic wrap filter and the stuff that I was showing you in the last video, I think it's pretty straightforward. If you can't, it'd be straightforward to do like water just falling straight down just from that. Just follow the flow of the water and everything. I had the suggestion for an underwater piece, and I was like, again, I hadn't thought of that, so it was a really great suggestion, by the way. I can't remember who suggested it, but yeah, thanks so much for that. And I thought it was more pertinent information than a waterfall, and I still couldn't find a waterfall piece that I was happy with, and I didn't want to do a digital painting of a waterfall. Because it's about comic coloring, it's not about digital painting. I didn't want to take it off on this whole other tangent or anything like that. So, if you have any specific questions about waterfalls, yeah, by all means, let me know, and I'll see if I can help you out with them. But it's pretty straightforward, just like I'm showing you guys with the part one, and then with this part as well. So let me, save that. All right, let me close that. We'll get to the Jumpin' Jose in it, Namor piece. I'm not going to do too much on the colors. So I do want to have like some effects kind of going on in the background though. Let me see. Let me release that clipping mask and get this color going, because it looks like I missed a bit when I was coloring the line art. Just 1 second. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. I think, again, most important thing I think a lot of people don't do is to really look at reference. So let me bring this over. This is just from Google Images, just a quick search on it real quick. I think we could get like some of these nice rays going on in the water behind them. If you really want to spend the time, it'd be really neat, paint like something like this, show a lot of depth and everything like that. But with Joe Sinnott's style, it's such simple. I think if you added something, like painted like that behind it, I think it might look a little bit ridiculous and overpowering, which I think is very unnecessary. You could paint, like the top of the water up here or something. But I think for the piece, I think we could just keep it simple. I think what we'll do. So we'll just have like a nice kind of gradient going up, and then we'll have like some of these rays coming in. So I'll just have my reference up on my other monitor, while I'm doing this. Let's see if I can pick. Oops. Let me just copy this image and bring it over. All right. So I have that one, and I'm just going to pick some colors from it. Yeah, the colors I did have really wasn't that far from it anyway. So let's see. Maybe start from the bottom. One of that bluer color. Kind of going up. Where our light source is going to be up here. Let's see. I like this a little bit lighter color going. So we're doing like that. And for painting, let's turn those off for now. These rays, there's a couple easy ways we can set that up. Let's get a nice, I'll show you just from the basic brushes. Let's go to our brush presets. Let's get this nice 300 soft brush. I think when you first grab it, yeah, it's the airbrush with the little thing set in, so it's pressure set. It comes at your flow is at 100. Let's knock that down to 3, or 30%. Sorry, and let's go to our brush tip, and let's squish that down. So now my roundness is about like 16%, maybe. Knock the spacing down a little bit. Let's see how this looks. Maybe I'll pick that back up a little bit more. Lighten my color some. Maybe I'll just flatten this a little bit more. 8%. I think that looks pretty good. Now we can just control the angle with it. You know, how do we want this going? We can even make this bigger. I'll put this on a new layer. Yeah, so you just play with the angle, you know, whatever way you want the rays coming down. But I have some brush, a couple brushes. So you can just kind of drop them in like that. You know, if that's all your resources you have, you can vary it up. Let's, you know, skinnier ones if you want. I do have, let me delete this. Oops, get that back over there. See if I can find them real quick. Some light ray brushes that I found. They work really nice for these types of situations. So yeah, let's see, something like that. It'll look pretty cool. So it's kind of reflecting around. But you see like these lines that Joe Sinnott has in the piece. So you want to go like this, contradicting, you know, oh, that here's these rays coming this way, and you know, he has something indicated coming this way. So I think what we'll do, fortunately this brush doesn't, let me see if I can flop it the other way. That's not a bad angle. So you kind of want to watch out for stuff like that. Unfortunately, this side here of the brush is a lot more exciting than this part of it down here. I think what we'll do, which I have to do a lot sometimes, because I want the brush to be nice and big, but oops, hit the wrong shortcut again. Open new document. I'll just set it at, you know, then by 8.5 by 11 at 300 dpi, and there goes the AC kicking on. I happen to have a vent like that's right above my head, so sorry about that in the microphone. But I just want to make sure I have enough space around the brush, so I can go ahead and I'll just copy that and then just paste it in. So I'm going to play around with this a little bit. And rotate this back. Let me do 180. So I have like these nice, more jagged lines over here where it shows like more of a light source going on. So I like that. Just kind of lining it up as best I can with the with these light rays going on that are shown in the inks. And I don't want that too dark either, so I don't want to take anything away from the inking on that. And I think the bubbles will lighten that up a bit. Oops. Oh, wrong layer, that's why. Alright. Oops, still wrong layer. There we go. Alright, now we're cooking with fire. Now I can lighten it up. For the bubbles. And now that's all I really want to do for the background. I think other effects you can try. Maybe having like a soft air brush. Because again, you don't want to take too much away from the figure. But if you want to add like some interest going on back there, you kind of play around, you know, maybe there's like a light reflection going on in the water back here or something. Oops. I thought that was still locked. Okay, there you go. You know, some kind of light refraction going through here or something like that. So you know that works as well. Let's say it like that. I think I'll just keep it simple with the just with the light rays going on. Let me dump that. Put that back in my clipping mask. Okay. I think I'll just keep it like this though. Next thing we can do is, again, you know, we got the water effect going on. Namor, he pops off it pretty nicely. Got the bubbles, you know, looking pretty good. We got the background lines kind of pop back a little bit as well, help him pop off. But with the colors, he still looks like he's on top of the water there. So let's put him in the water. And what we can do, I'll just select his colors. So we have a selection of his body. We'll set another layer on top of everything, and we'll just fill that, you know, with this background color back here. And we can set this to. We tried a couple of different things. We set it to multiply, and then play with the opacity of it. It's a little bit too dark for my taste. What I might do is go down to color, and then same thing. Just kind of play around with the opacity. Kind of dig in those colors right there. So he's underwater, so it's going to be like cooler colors. I want a little bit of pink in there, so he still has some life. I'm liking 30% on color right there. Looks pretty good. And then let's go ahead, and because we already have these lines and the bubbles, we can do another layer just on top of the line art, but in between the other stuff we have colorized for the background. And we'll pick this background color again. We'll just drop that over everything, and we can go ahead and colorize that line art really quick and easy. We'll add a little bit more green to it. A little bit more cyan. A little bit of blue. I think that looks pretty good right there. Maybe just a tad bit darker. Maybe more saturated. Yeah. So again, it's just another way to really make him look underwater. Like here he looks like he's sitting on top, and then there he is pushed back a little bit more. Now lastly, to finish it up, I'll just go ahead and lighten up Joe Sinnott's name so it pops off nicely. Maybe take that the bubble color on there. I think that works. So again, just quick, easy techniques. How to put somebody underwater. Just using a color layer and then colorizing the line art usually does the job pretty well. But again, there's no sure thing, so go ahead and play around with your settings on different layers and whatnot. I think that's going to be it for this episode. So thanks for all the new subscribers we've been getting lately. The channel's growing by huge leaps and bounds, and I really appreciate that, guys. And so if you like what you see, hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Don't want you to miss out on any future episodes. Try and put out about one episode a week. And been doing pretty good about sticking to that so far, so I'm pretty happy about that. I think that's about it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Check them pretty frequently. You can check out more of my color work at lummage.deviantart.com, and put all the links in the descriptions as usual. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. All right.